I'm a huge Nintendo fan, and I'm a huge fan of the Nintendo Switch, especially that beautiful Pokemon one. However, last year I started playing more on my Steam Deck, and until recently when Pokemon and Fire Emblem came out, I picked up the Switch again, but the Switch is losing steam, in that it'll lose to Steam if it stays on this path. One of the biggest discussions in video games right now is what the predecessor will be to the Switch. I thought it would be a more fun topic to discuss what I think or I feel would please me the most as a diehard fan and a Nintendo consumer. Not necessarily what I think they will do, but what I would personally want them to do. The chances of this happening are like slim to none, but in my perfect world, I believe the predecessor to the Switch should be a powerhouse console, something that matches up to the Series X and the PS5. Now, I personally will always put gameplay over graphical prowess any day. However, Nintendo has already done that with the Switch, and it should continue to do so. So let me explain. I believe Nintendo should continue supporting the Nintendo Switch for a very long time. The Nintendo Switch should be Nintendo's secondary device. The way that they did the Game Boy to the N64, Game Boy Advance to the GameCube, and the DS to the Wii. The Switch has a huge player base, with it being one of the best selling consoles of all time. So just dumping it out for a new console completely wouldn't make sense financially, since they have so many Switch owners that can continue buying, I don't want to call them secondary games, but for the sake of this discussion, we can call Switch games of the future Nintendo's secondary games. The consumers can keep buying those games, while Nintendo continues supporting a stronger software to a new, more powerful device. The N64 and GameCube were powerhouse machines in their time, and I think it's time Nintendo gets back to competing. Imagine a powerhouse machine where Nintendo can push the limits of a brand new Super Mario game, and Nintendo can hire someone other than Game Freak to make a full-on immersive Pokemon game. Both of these are Nintendo's biggest successes, so I just imagine a Pokemon game that could be what a Pokemon game could be, especially for its 10th generation coming up. A beautifully designed open world game with no bugs and glitches, where you can travel to every single region. That's the dream. And it would be possible with a more powerful hardware and the right development team. Imagine a Mario game that is as high quality as something like Horizon Zero Dawn or God of War. Odyssey was amazing both in gameplay and visuals, but imagine how much more Nintendo can push the envelope. And imagine the money Nintendo can make by having actual third-party support on launch dates for this new system. Nintendo has a great relationship with Microsoft, so having a Nintendo console that can play Game Pass would be amazing as well. While Nintendo could still support the Switch for titles that don't require as much power, 2D games, fun multiplayer games, and party games can still receive support, and remasters can all still be played on both the Switch and this new powerhouse console. Now, I don't believe this is something Nintendo will do, but as a Nintendo fan, I would love for them to take a direction like this, because I know that with their innovative nature, they'd be able to challenge the status quo and give us new masterpieces without having to be limited by their own hardware. Regardless of where we go from here, with Nintendo, I know fans and gamers will love it, and as long as it isn't VR Labo, it'll be another great adventure with Nintendo.